So we're looking at two of the most powerful laptops from Asus as well as Lenovo. We have the Strix Scar 17 and the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. Now we have a 17-inch laptop versus a 16-inch laptop, so keep that discrepancy in mind. But otherwise, we see very equal performance, and we see a Ryzen versus Intel opportunity here to help you get that comparison locked in if you're looking at choosing the differences between the two. Hopefully at the end of this video, I'll help you with your purchasing decision. Now, first and foremost, we're gonna look at build quality, usability, and features, and then we're gonna get into the performance differences between these two laptops. Now, first and foremost, the weight and thickness of these laptops is quite different. You can see the Asus Republic of Gamers Strix Scar is a bit thicker than the Pro 9i, but actually not by a lot. However, when it comes into weight, you'll notice that the Strix is quite a bit heavier. You can see the weight and thickness coming up on the screen, and we feel quite a bit more weight from the Strix Scar. Now, taking a look at the ports, on the left side, we have two USB Type A's and a headphone jack compared to the headphone jack and the SD card reader on the Legion Pro 9i. Flip them over, you have actually no ports on the right side of the Strix Scar, and you have a USB Type A, USB-C, and a manual cutoff switch to the webcam on the 9i. And on the back panels where a lot of the ports are found for both of these laptops. So we have power adapters, network ports, HDMI, two USB Type-Cs, then we have an additional USB Type-A on the Pro 9i compared to the Strix Scar. Now, the build quality is one of the areas I want to point out most between the Strix Scar and the Legion Pro 9i. It's really night and day, and the fact that these laptops are in the same price category really blows my mind because they have pretty much equal performance, as we'll see later in the video. But we have a plastic build for the Strix Scar. We do have an aluminum top cover. We have a plastic build for everything else. And then we have a nice carbon fiber build for the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. So truly a premium laptop in both performance and build quality versus a premium performing laptop. But the build quality just is not amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the bottom cover. We have a more affordable plastic material that is used here on the bottom cover. It's that kind of, thin, hollow sounding plastic versus the material used on the Strix Scar, which is going to be the magnesium alloy carbon fiber blend that they use a lot on their ThinkPad series. Love this. It is also lighter, which is a big benefit. So while toting the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i around, you're gonna have a far more lighter package, which is really nice. Now you can see the assembly is good on the Strix Scar. It is assembled nicely, bottom cover to the side panel, but again, they just use more affordable materials. I like the assembly on the Pro 9i as well. Definitely has a little bit of an edge here. That's an intentional design that they've made for 2023. This edge kind of puckers out, but it is all assembled and put together very tight, very nice build assembly and build quality. Now looking at the bottom, you can see the fan's a little bit easier on the Pro 9i, so a bit more loose ventilation. What I mean by loose is the holes are a little bit larger, so air can get through easier. You can see it's a tighter grid here on the Strix Scar, so the air does get in, but it does not offer as much airflow compared to the Pro 9i. We have vents on both side panels and the back side as well. And then on the interior of the laptop, you can see we do not have any ventilation on the top cover, where on the Pro 9i, we do have ventilation along the top cover. Now you will notice that this is the reset. I was about to send this laptop back when the Pro 9i came in, and I thought I have to do these head to head. So I just didn't reset up the laptop yet. Just so you're aware, I fully benchmarked this laptop. All the test results that you'll see at the end of the video are from me. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at the interior of the laptop, this is one area that both laptops kind of suffer, in my opinion. We have pretty small trackpads here between the Strix Scar and the Pro 9i, especially for how big the keyboard decks are. Now, I know they put a really nice big vent here on the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. However, the trackpad is so tiny. It's pretty disappointing in my opinion. So for a highlight, neither of these win in my opinion. You'll want to bring a mouse along for both of them. However, I will say that the assembly of the trackpad on the Pro 9i is better. It doesn't rattle around as much, and it has a nice, firmer, more confident click to it when you click the trackpad. Now, looking at the keyboard deck, they're both good. I like the larger arrow keys on the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i compared to the smaller ones. But they both have full-size numpads, full-size shift keys on both sides, full-size enter keys. So they have all the workings of a really nice keyboard. I just prefer the larger arrow keys on the Legion keyboard deck. Here's a quick sample of me using both keyboards and trackpads so you can hear what they sound like. Save an extra 6% on a Lenovo Legion laptop by heading down in the description below, clicking the link and using the discount code BENKAISER6. That will give you an extra 6% off even sale prices of a Lenovo Legion or Legion Lock laptop, and it's good till the end of the year. So head down in the description below, click the link, and use the code BENKAISER6. Save yourself some extra money. Don't even have to wait for the Black Friday deals. And for a quick audio experience, here's what the speakers sound like in use. And lastly, they both have webcams along the top bezel. And here's a sample of the webcams in use so you can see what those look and sound like.
This is the webcam on the Asus Republic of Gamer Strix Scar, and a little sample of the audio for you as well.
This is the webcam on the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. It's a 1080p webcam, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. Now, at first glance, the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i would appear to be the better screen, and you would be correct. It has 688 nits of brightness. It has a 100% sRGB, 90% Adobe RGB, and 96% DCI-P3, all at a delta E of 0.74. Compared to the Strix Scar, which has 354 nits of screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 90% Adobe RGB, and 100% DCI-P3 at a delta E of 1.03. So you're going to have a brighter screen and slightly better color accuracy out of the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. So again, much more of the overall premium laptop compared to the Strix Scar. Now, the battery life is one area that, man, I'm disappointed with on the Pro 9i compared to the Strix Scar 17. You can see the battery life results coming up on the screen, and as you can see, it's a pretty big landslide. Now, this is really interesting because the Strix Scar has a 90 watt-hour battery, where the Pro 9i has a 99.9 watt-hour battery. However, we're using Intel's highest performing processor compared to a Ryzen processor, and Ryzen processors over the past few years have been more efficient when it comes to battery life. Now, both of these laptops were run on quiet mode. The screen brightness was set to 20%. We turned on Windows battery saver mode, and we set it to iGPU mode only, so which is where the Ryzen takes a bit of an advantage, as it has a more efficient iGPU mode inside of its processors that I've seen when running this battery life test year over year. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you're curious about the exact pricing and availability of either of these models, you can head down in the description below and click those links. If you do make a purchase, I will get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's to keep this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Also, you can save 6% extra off your purchase at Lenovo.com by using the link in the description below and the discount code BENKAISER6 till the end of 2023. So BENKAISER6. Click the link in the description below, and that will give you a 6% discount on any Legion product on Lenovo.com, even if it's on sale. So pretty awesome little extra kick to your holiday shopping experience. Now, let's talk about the upgrade path. That is another area that the Lenovo Legion disappoints me. This is supposed to be their most premium, like high quality gaming laptop, and you cannot upgrade the RAM. However, you can upgrade the RAM on the Strix Scar. You can upgrade both RAM slots and both M.2 slots. Now, you can still upgrade the M.2 drives on the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i and the Wi-Fi card, but you cannot upgrade the RAM. Now, this isn't going to be a problem in the performance benchmarks, which we'll see in just a minute, but it is a problem if you want to upgrade to 64 gigs of RAM to improve your performance, which many people do, and I would say would be a good thing. So it is weird that their highest gaming laptop would not have swappable RAM. But a lot of other Legion laptops do, so maybe that'd be a better purchasing option for you. Without further ado, let's get into the performance benchmarks. Looking at the Legion Pro 9i, we have the i9-13980HX and the RTX 4090 with 32 gigs of RAM. For the Strix Scar, we have the Ryzen 9 7945HX, RTX 4090, and also 32 gigs of RAM. Now, looking at Geekbench single core and multi-core, as well as Cinebench R23 and Cinebench 2024, you can see that the Pro 9i really stands out in the simulated benchmarks. Now, moving on to Photoshop though, this is the real world benchmarks, which is where I like to really say which laptop is better because we're using real world programs, not just simulated benchmarks. You can see that we're pretty much neck and neck for Photoshop. And then you get into After Effects and once again, pretty much neck and neck. So not a big difference between these two laptops here. So I would lean towards, if you're gonna be a Photoshop or After Effects user, which build quality or which price point do you want to spend? Remember, links in the description below will get you the live pricing and availability of each of these laptops. So if it were me, same performance, similar price point, I'd be going with the Legion Pro 9i. I just think the build quality is better overall. Moving on into Blender Classroom, you can see though, however, there's gonna be a bit of an advantage by choosing the Strix Scar over the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i. For Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, and PTC Creo, we're going to see a bit of a performance increase coming out of the Legion Pro 9i. About 30 to 50 points, give or take, and that's not a landslide difference, but you will see smoother performance out of the Pro 9i by just a bit. Now, looking at SolidWorks, this is an area where a lot of times we see that workstation GPUs are going to be the go-to, and that's still going to be the case. However, you can see that the Pro 9i scores a 168 versus the Strix Scar's 157. 10-point difference. Pretty nominal. If you're going to be a SolidWorks user, these laptops will serve you well. If you're a super SolidWorks user, I'd recommend a workstation GPU like the RTX A5000, and that will be where your money will be best spent for 3D modeling inside of SolidWorks. Now let's move on into video editing. I would say that the better laptop is going to be the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i, simply because we see that in 8K footage, the 8K red footage has better playback from the Lenovo Legion Pro 9i at 764 for the drop frames versus the Asus ROG Strix Scar 17 at 1,414. Now they're both going to be great. I think 8K footage will be handled very well between these two laptops. And of course, as we trickle down to 6K, 4K, and 1080p, you're gonna have no issues with those resolutions. Not a ton of people are shooting 8K, but I wanted to start running these benchmarks just to show off the performance capabilities of these high performance laptops. Now moving down into the export times, really impressed with the export time out of the Legion Pro 9i, 2 minutes and 7 seconds versus 2 minutes and 18 seconds from the Strix Scar. 2 minutes and 18 seconds is still a fantastic export time for 4K. That's a 9-minute 4K clip put into Premiere Pro, exported out at full quality 4K YouTube settings. Same thing with the 6K clip, 6K exported out at full quality 6K settings. And as you can see here, 12 minutes and 9 seconds versus 11 minutes and 13 seconds. So you will save a minute on that 9-minute export. Extrapolate that out to an hour export. It could save you anywhere from 10, 15 to 20 minutes on your export time. Could be a deal breaker to you, could improve your performance. But that's going to be something that is in your wheelhouse to make the decision. Next up, we're going to look at the DaVinci Resolve export time, 3 minutes and 21 seconds from the Pro 9i versus the Strix Scar at 4 minutes and 21 seconds. So again, a minute saved there for the 9-minute 4K export. Now, if I were going to choose one of these laptops, I have to be super honest and just say I'm going to choose the Legion Pro 9i. Better build quality, it's a lighter laptop, it has just as good a performance, and the price point is actually fairly similar at which time of year you look at the price differences of these laptops. Sometimes they're on sale, sometimes they're not, but these are RTX 4090s with some of the top performing CPUs from Intel and Ryzen. You can't go wrong with either of them from a performance standpoint, but I'm just really impressed with the build quality of the Pro 9i. Links in the description if you're ready to make a purchase, or click or tap the screen here for more videos to help you with your buying decision. I'll see you in the next one.